Welcome guys, and we begin by demoing this multiple file uploader using ReactJs. Welcome and pay attention as we take this piece by piece, step by step. And I promise you, even if you are a beginner, you will be able to follow along in this project, because we're going to be creating everything from scratch. So this is a multiple file uploader, and in this tutorial you're going to be learning how to create, drag, drop, and select UI just as you are seeing on the screen. So we can be able to add file by clicking on this area, and we can add file. As you can see, I've just added one image, and I look at the preview of the image here. So here I have the image I just added, the name of the image, and the size of the image that I added. So as you can see here, it is 3.2 MB. So we can even add multiple files at a time by clicking on Shift and click on where you want the file selection to stop and click on Open. As you can see, it added all of them once. So we can even add other file types such as PDF. Okay, as you can see, I've added a PDF file. We can also add docx file, as you can see that. So if you observe something here, you see that if it is an image that we selected, it will preview the image over here. But if it is a file, it will just show a file icon. So this is because file is different from an image. It's not an image that can be previewed, and that is why we represent it with a file icon. So we're going to be learning how to do this. Okay, before I will show you the other part, which is dragging files and dropping on this area to add it, I would like to show you that we can also be able to delete any file that we don't want. So by clicking on this delete icon, you see we have deleted the first one. Let's say I want to delete this one, I'll just click here and it will be deleted. So any file you don't want, you can delete it by clicking on the delete icon. So right now, I want to show you something else, which is dragging files and placing here in order to add it. So let me switch, and I will come over here and click here. So I have some couple of files here. So let's say I want to add this file. What I would just need to do is to click on it and drag it and drop here. And as you can see, it has been added. I can also drag and drop multiple files, and drop it here, and it will be added. And that is just so nice, so cool. All right, so this file uploader supports just few file extension. It supports JPG, JPEG, PNG, docx, doc, and PDF. So if we try to upload any extension other than that, it's not going to be uploaded. Although you can configure it to your requirements, you can add other file extension, that you want it to support. But in this project, it only supports those ones that I mentioned, but you can add any one you wish to add. All right, so for example, let's say I want to upload this .mp3. Let's see what it will say. As you can see, it's saying that this file does not have a valid file extension. So that is because we did not add support for mp3 files. All right, so we are going to also be learning how to check the file extension before adding it to your files that will be uploaded to your server. So we're going to be learning how to do that. Also, we're going to be learning how to specify the selectable files, because if you check here right now, as you can see, some files are being blurred out. I cannot select, for example, this one. I cannot select it because it has an extension which is .pat. Okay, so that extension is not selectable. Look at these ones that has extension .json is not selectable. But as you can see, these ones can be selected because we have support for .pdf. So we are going to be learning how to specify selectable files in this project. So we're going to be taking this step by step. We're going to be learning them step by step. Okay, so we're also going to be learning how to validate the file size. As you can see here, we say that the maximum file size is 25 MB, which means if someone tries to, if a user tries to upload a file that is more than 25 MB, it will not be added. All right, you can also, I will show you a way you can also add, like you can change this from 25 MB to 50 MB, or you can even decide to reduce it to 2 MB, 5 MB, any amount you want. You can reduce it to that or increase it to that. So I will be showing you how to do all of that in this tutorial. So without wasting much time, let's get to the coding part of this project. To begin with, create a new React app using npm create React app. Now that we have successfully created our project, let's delete some files that we don't need. For example, we don't need index.css, logo.svg, and some other ones. Let's delete them. Also, let's open index.js and delete this and this one and the other one. All right. Okay, so also we don't need app.test.js. So we delete it, and here we delete every code in here and this. Okay, so let's just write hello here, and then we're going to start the application and see how it looks like on the browser. This is how it looks like. And okay, so we delete everything here and we start from scratch writing our CSS. So let's first of all, let's write some global CSS code. So padding of every element should be 0, margin 0. Okay, so outline should be 0, text decoration should be none. All right, so let's write code for the body, which should be 100 VW, that is viewport width, just as same as 100%, just the same as that. So overflow should be hidden, but overflow on the vertical axis should be octo. All right, so let's just give it a gradient background. And okay, so we're going to be using this text muted class in various places in our code. So that's why I'm just declaring a class called text muted and just writing some colors here. So color primary, also we're going to be using this class in several places. And here we're going to be using paragraph, and I want every paragraph to be 14 pixel, and every paragraph with text muted class should be 12 pixel. So we're going to be using h3. Please note that all the styles we're writing here are just for general use, so that we will not be writing these styles again wherever we want to make use of this kind of styles. We'll just make use of the class names here and it will apply to it instead of writing it again from scratch over there. So that's how we're just writing this general style. All right, so this particular one I'm writing currently is just for a button. Any element that has btn class we inherit whatever style that I'm writing here right now. Okay, so cursor pointer. So also we're going to have button primary. So button primary, let's give it some gradient. All right, so I think we're done here. We're done here. All right, let's create a new component called file uploader. All right, so we are going to be writing our file uploader code here, and let's link to the CSS file. Okay, so let's import it on our app.js file uploader from, okay, and here we are going to delete everything and just return our file uploader. So here we'll start writing our code, but first of all, let's text it. As you can see, we are inside the component. Let's begin the real deal by giving it a class name, file uploader container. And also let's create 3 direct children, top, middle, and bottom. All right, so here at the top, let's just give it a title of upload. And here, let's create the upload area. Let's call it file drop area. So within the file drop area, we'll create some other things. But first of all, let's install React icons because we'll be needing it for this project. We'll be using React icons for the project. So first, let's import all of these icons from React icons. And first of all, let's use the first icon, lu5 plus 2. Where is happening? Okay, let's copy it and paste. Okay, I think this is correct right now. Then let's give it a class name of icon and text muted because we want it to be muted in color, and give it a description. Drop your files here, or let's say let's give it a color primary browse. Yeah, I think this makes sense. And let's go to the next line, and we are going to just say the max file size 25 MB. So we're going to be implementing this. So let's change, the input should be 5, all right, and it's multiple. We're adding the multiple there so that the user can be able to select multiple files. Now the preview area, we'll have a preview card where we'll be previewing it, the images and the files. Okay, so let's, here we're going to show an icon, or if it is an image, we show the image. So the next column, here we will show the name of the file, and also we are going to be showing the size of the file. So this is just markup, but after this we're going to be rendering this thing dynamically. So here we are going to be showing the cancel or the remove icon. So let's say cancel icon. Here at the bottom, we're going to be creating 2 buttons. The first button is the cancel button, while the second button is the save button. And as you can see on the second button, I give it a class name of BTN primary so that it will have different color from the first button, different styling. So this is what we have here. So we are done with the markup, and let's go to the styling. Here I will just write the styling. Just do what you see on the screen, write the same thing. So I'll just share the screen so that we can be seeing our class names as we write our style. Padding 40 pixel, 30 pixel. So we're saying 40 pixel at the top and bottom and 30 pixel at the left and right. All right, box shadow. Let's give it a nice box shadow over 18%. Max width should be 550 pixel. All right, let's try the top part, but then we'll trace the top part from the parent, which is file uploader container. Okay, then the middle, we don't have too much style to write at the top part, so just move to the middle. And here we'll have some codes to write because we need to style the file drop area. Okay, let's write some text, some stylings for our file drop area. line item center, gap 20 pixel, background, let's give it some dark background. Okay. All right. We keep on going. Just do what you see me doing on the screen. Type the same thing, and you will surely arrive at the same result with me. You know, one thing about programming, it just programming is mathematics, which means if you use the same formula, you will always arrive at the same answer. Okay, border color, make it this way. I think this is fine. Yeah, this is nice. We'll copy paste and we'll style the icon. Okay, now let's style the inputs where it should be 0. Actually, we want to hide the inputs, but we don't just want to say display none, because in some browsers we use display none, it's going to affect its functionality. All right. Okay, see, this is what it looks like, but the input is still showing, which means we'll have some problem in our code. Okay, it's not a class, so we'll remove the dots. All right, so we now need to start the preview area. Let's start the preview area. Copy and paste, and say margin 20 pixel and 0. So we're saying margin top and margin bottom is 20 pixel, margin left and right should be 0 pixel, and we continue from there. And we now start the preview card. Our preview card, we need to style it, so let's give it some background. The border also, let's give it a very nice border. And padding top and bottom should be 10 pixel, left and right should be 20 pixel, and a border radius of 21 pixel. All right, let's keep on going, and we'll display it as flex so that it will, be in row. Whatever it contains, the direct children will be in row. So let's start the first column, which is also having a class name of arbiter. So we'll give it the same width and height, and we'll also use minimum and maximum, to make sure that it stays at that same width and height. It will not shrink. You're using that to make sure that it will not shrink. And also we give it a background. We also display it as flex and align the items to center and justify the content to center also. And we also give it some border radius. Yeah. I have a question to ask, and the question goes this way. Have you subscribed to this channel? If I'm giving you value, why not subscribe to the channel for more videos on how web development works? You will be able to learn more about web development, mobile apps development. Why not subscribe to the channel? And also remember to share the video, comment down below, and also like the video. Do that right now, and you will not regret it. Okay, let's continue with our video. As you can see, we are styling the name, and also now the bottom part of our file uploader container, let's style it. We display it as flares because we want the buttons inside to display side by side. We say margin top 40 pixel, and now let's style the button itself. We'll say display block width 100%. Okay, so we are done, and this is how it looks like. Does this not look good? It looks perfectly good. Now the next thing is to start creating the functionalities. What happens when file is being selected? How do we select files and all of that? We need to start. So let's create states called files where we're going to be saving our selected files. So all our selected files will be saved in this files state. So first let's create handle file input function, and we'll pass an event to it. So let's create a, okay, this variable, let's say selected files. So whatsoever file that has been selected, we target it and output it. Let's add handle input function to this input here on change, and let's text it and see what how it looks like. So look at what will happen when I select a file. So let's click. What is really happening? It's supposed to pop up file selection menu. What is okay? Let's check. All right. Okay, let's delete HTML4. I think that is what is making not the work. All right. Yeah. So you see, it pops up, and when we select a file, you see it is being outputted for us. All right. You see, when we select multiple files, these are the list of files we have selected. So let's go back to the code, which means selected files carries all the files. So we're going to loop through selected files, and we're going to be assigning it to our files state when we have done some validation, for example, checking the file size, checking if the file already exists. So let's create a function that will check if the file already exists. So if it already exists, we will not add it, and if it doesn't exist, we will add it. So this function will do all of that. File exists function. So we'll loop through each of the file, and we check if the name of the file already exists in our files array. Let's see. So if it exists, we return true. If it doesn't exist, we return false. So let's make use of it here. If not file exists, we'll pass in the selected files, and yeah, so we'll pass in the file. So if it does not exist, we'll continue. And the next thing, we need to create a function that will validate the file extension. It will check if the file has the acceptable extension or not. So this function will do all of that. So what we will do is we'll make sure that the file mimi type matches the extension we want, the mimi type we want. So we are adding support for JPEG, JPG, PNG, also adding support for PDF, uh, docx, and doc. All right. So if any of this extension, if this file matches any of this extension, then we return true. X will return false. All right. So that's what this function basically do. So let's make use of it in here. Validate extensions. Then we'll pass in the file. We'll pass in the file. So next we need to create a function that will uh, it will validate the file size. It will validate the file size. So first we need the file, and we need the size in MB. So we'll use this size in MB to determine whether the file is more than it or not. So if max size MB is specified, it will use it. If not, it will use 100B as default. All right, so let's continue. This function is just to determine the file size, to check if the file size is valid or not. So that's what this function basically do. All right, so we divide it. Okay, and then we'll check it if it okay. So we'll return false, X will return true. All right, so let's make use of it here in our handle file input. Let's make use of it in our handle file inputs. Okay, we'll pass in the file. All right, then we'll create uh, a variable valid files. So any file that passes all the text and reaches this side, we'll just push it into our valid files. And our valid files, in turn, after everything, we're going to assign our valid files to our files state. We'll assign it to our files state. All right. Okay. Okay, let's output some messages. So if it is not a valid extension, we need to let the user know what the problem is. So we're going to output some messages. First of all, let's output the file name. Then let's say does not have a valid file extension. And also, if the file size is the problem, let's output some messages telling the user, let's alert it. We'll just alert it. The file name has invalid file size. Maximum file size, let's specify, is 25 MB. Okay, we have not even specified our maximum file size, so let's specify it. All right, so we're going to console log our files. Let's monitor it. Okay, so let's refresh and we'll select some file. As you can see, we have one file in. We'll select multiple files. Okay, you see, we are trying to upload that MP4, and as you can see, the message. Let's try. Okay, so let's say 1 MB. Let's try to upload any file at all that is more than 1 MB and see what happens. Okay, can you see that? You see, it's showing us that error. So let's change it back to 25 MB. All right. Next, let's specify selectable files. Uh, okay, so let's go to the input and we use accept .jpeg, .jpg, .png, .pdf, .doc, .docx. So these are files that can be selected. As you can see, other files that are not specified here, other file extensions that are not specified here will be muted. Take a look at it. Okay, I think, okay, so you see other file extensions that is not specified there will be muted. Next, let's move to the drag and drop functionality. So I'll just duplicate this handle file input function and make some changes to it. So let's change it to handle file drop. And let's prevent some events there. I will show you the reason why we're writing this later on. Okay, let's just leave it. I'll show it later on. And let's change this to dropped files. Dropped files. I just want to make it unique. But if you like, you can leave it the way it is. All right. So we'll just grab this function and place it on drop. We'll place it on our file drop area, and on drag over, we'll still place it there. All right. So let's take a look at it and see how this will function. But then let's change this to data transfer dot files. Okay, so let's refresh and let's go and drag. You see, when we drag a file to it, you see the file will be added. Okay, let me show you the importance of that event or prevent before. You see, that is it. That is important. Without it, you cannot drop files, and it will work perfectly fine. Okay, so when you drop a file that is not supported, it will show you the error. Now let's move on to rendering our preview card. Let's render our files. First of all, we'll create an array from our files and we'll reverse it so that the last that is added will appear at the top. All right, so we paste this and we'll make some changes to it. First, let's add the queue so that React will be able to differentiate each of the preview card. So let's add the name of the file. And next, we are going to create a function that will check if the file is an image or not. So this function right here will check it. All right, just blend. The first one is equal to image. Okay, so it will either return true or false. So we'll use that function over there. First is image, we'll pass the file to it. Then if it is an image, we'll render the image. X. If it is not an image, we'll render this icon over here. And next, we need to also create a function that we calculate the size of the file. Let's call it file size. It will return the size of the file. Okay, so let's say size in bytes, and let's make this function calculate the file of the size and return it. Okay, all right. Okay, so fixed. Okay, so let's make use of the function here. Then we'll just pass the file size to it. You see it, it's returning the file size. You understand? Okay, so let's create another function that will delete the file. We'll just pass the file name to this function and it will delete the file for us. Okay, so we'll filter this file and use the name. So we'll remove the one that bears any name that was supplied. So on click, we'll pass the file name. So you see, when we click, the file name will be passed and it will be deleted. So on the next part of this video, I will show you how to upload these files to the server. So watch out.